Yes, welcome to Hen House Studios Live. Today in the studio we have one of my favorite musicians, Baba Alade. I'd like to thank Baba for coming here today. This is actually our first show of hopefully many. And I'd like to start off the show by asking Baba Alade a little bit about his history, because this is a man who's been in the music business, or I should say a musician, for many years. So Baba, why don't you tell us about one of your first gigs? I think you were a teenager, right? A jazz band, or?
Certainly. The first professional gig, the first band was a band that we got together in junior high school called the Jazz Prophets with, I guess who's playing from out of that group would be Leon Ndugu Chancellor. He was one of the drummers. And then I don't know what's up with some of the rest of the people. I do know that the founder of the group, Richard Ross, may his soul rest in peace, passed away at a very young age, even in junior college. So, but Ndugu and I still are around and playing. Then after that, it was a group called the Craig Hundley Trio that I was with, along with a group at the same time, the Jazz Symphonics, headed up by an individual. Can I say that?
Yes.
Yeah, Larry Nash and the Jazz Symphonics, another institution in Los Angeles music scene. And then it was the Craig Hundley Trio with Pacifica Records. There was a label out here called Pacifica Records, and Craig was with them. And
so that was all here in Southern California?
In Southern California.
And what were you doing? What was your role in the band?
I was a bass player in all of those configurations.
And how old were you at this time?
Well, 14 and 15.
Wow.
15 the first.
So the way I understood, so that you were on the road as a very, a teenager.
Teenager on the road, as a matter of fact, traveling, the tutor and the whole operation.
Wow. And then you had some experiences with Miles Davis as well?
Oh, yeah, that was, the biggest experience I had with him was at the age of about the same time, 15. And at that same time, Miles had come to Shelley's Manhole to play, and he was that memorial, part of that memorial group, memorable group, and asked for an autograph. That was what it was, and at that time, we had all kind of mythology about, he'd bite your head off, and he was a real, and so nobody approached him, and from our crew, but I just had bought the poster. I had gone through everything to go to Shelley's on a school night, which was I had to take every album I had, put it in my father's, went to my father. He was drinking coffee and said, "Daddy, I want to go out, and it's a school night." He said, "It looks like it's a school night, and it's pretty late for you to want to go out any place." And I told him, "Miles Davis is coming to Shelley's Manhole, sir, and I don't know what I'll do if I don't get a chance to see him." And he said, "Well, how you doing in school?" "I'm doing real well." He said, "That sounds pretty good. What'd your mother say?" I said, "Well, she said ask you." He said, "Well, okay, you can go." And so then I called up everybody, said I could go. Well, meanwhile, I'll make a long story short, I did go to Miles and the crew that we went with. Nobody would, but I took my poster and stuff and left the poster when I actually approached him, may his soul rest in peace. And I said, "Mr. Davis, yeah." "I'd like to get your autograph." He said, "Well, where you pen? You got a pen?" I said, "No." "You got some paper?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "You want my autograph? You didn't bring a pen and paper?" He said, "Come over here." He asked me what my name was. I told him, and then he gestured to some more folk to hook me up with the paper and pen, and I got all those things and then came back with them. with the paper and pen, and he wrote it out and said some nice things to me about the music. He asked me, did I play? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, that's good. And and so I got his autograph. And that was about the closest, other than you know, some of my close friends actually playing with him at that time. Basically, that band, my eyes were really on. I had a great admiration for Mr. Davis, but the band that really I really wanted to play with was the Charles Lloyd's band. It was a little bit moving in the direction.
This was all in New York.
Yeah, I got with him afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, subsequently, that's what we targeted on as youth. Listen to the various styles of guys and directing yourself.
So, you know, now when I see you play and I talk to musicians that play with you, they often make comparisons to Miles, how you are the man of the moment on stage, where you really might not play the same song with the same approach every single time that you play it, and you tend to be very sensitive to the moment, and I mean this as a compliment. And I'd like to use that as a segue to try to capture one of those beautiful moments right now and have you play a song for us. A moment in time for all of us.
Oh, we'll be talking about this afterwards, Harley.
You dare run away with me. Captain gone away. Let's run today. Naima, oh, you run with me. Naima, oh, you dare run away. Naima, salode, bami salode, mama. Kumbaya luwa, oh, kobawa, kobawa luwa, oh, kobaye, kobawa luwa, oh, kumbaya. Sugar, now don't you cry for me. 'Cause I come from Alabama with this want money. The night I was born, it rained so hard, whether it was dry. Sun so hot I froze to death. Now, Susanna, don't you cry.
Yes, Baba Alade. As you can see, this is a man of marvelous talent. We put together at Hen House Studios a video clip. We call them our music documentary shorts. And it's one of my favorites. And we're going to cut to the clip right now and give you a chance to get an in-depth look of the man, Baba Alade. Thank you, Baba. That was fantastic.
Thank you, Harlan. Alade Olamina. We play a few instruments. We play strings, mostly strings. String bass is the instrument I started studying formally. 63, 64. I can remember the Cuban crisis. I was studying bass then. Before then, we played violin and banjo, the 4, 5, and 6 string banjos. And we play reeds, soprano saxophone, alto, tenor, and trumpet. I did have a dream one time when I was doing all of them all at the same time with one body, like a Hindu kind of thing.
Well, Mary had a baby, and the baby now so pretty. Mary had a baby, and the baby now so fine.
I love the guitar, I love the banjos, I love the bass. I really love the string bass, though we very seldom get real good times to play it.
The Holy Spirit came to Mary one night.
I'm not using a stroke tuner.
My Lord, all the people shouting. 3 wise men came bearing gifts, saying, "Born is the King of the world."
Yeah, I am an artist. You know, I've tried my best to live the straight and narrow, you know, but I'm an artist. The first record I bought it cost 82 cents, I believe, called My Girl by The Temptations. And my father said, "You spent all your money on that?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Boy, I don't know."
Is that your parents in the back there?
That's my parents, yeah. That's my father and my mommy.
My father brought a bunch of records in there. He said, "If you're going to be serious about this, playing this bass, then he brought a lot of Charles Mingus records." So he'd always give me these healthy Mingus stories. He kind of reminded me of Mingus, too, Pops did at the time. Things that I was listening to was like Ornette, the early Ornette on tenor, and, you know, Cecil Taylor and Andrew Hill, Train, Ohm, Cosmic Music. So some of that bebop that I was hearing, that, you know, 15, I said, oh, that was a square sound for me. I was liking what Ornette was doing, you know, Pharaoh, Train. I turned 18 on the road, I remember that. We got a little rock band together, some folk, and we left. Some of the biggest things that could have happened in my life have almost already happened. Anything else would just be like, my head would explode. I've been blessed. I really have, you know, I've seen a lot of beautiful things at times that I never would have known.
These are like it were presented to me in Oshogbo, Nigeria, and they're very special to me. These beads here are for Orumila Ifa. These are saints, you could say saints, we speak in English. Naima. This is my Ide Obaluaye. And so this is for my guardian, angel. So these beads, what they allow us to remember is where we came from and who we all are. Let's look at Yemoja. She's a water deity. Can't you see the water there? Can you see the water there?
With age, you can call it wisdom or something, but with age, I found that I'm being used. It's no real, I can't really put my finger on it. Sometimes you go to sleep and it wakes you up and says, come on, this is what you gotta do. I want you to write this down here. And you know, how inspiration handles me.
Now if the road for you is rough and the going it seems tough, I say there is one simple rule, hold on.
Making records or recording is just freezing. You know, it's freezing. It's like making ice cubes. It's really what it is, you know. Ice cubes, you got a cube thing, you pour the faucet on and then you put it in the refrigerator. Well, with these electronic machines, that's all we're doing. We're freezing it. We're making ice cubes. That's what we're doing, except we're doing it either in sound or we're doing it in pictures. But it's just ice cubing some stuff. Well, once you got it frozen like that, you can do all kind of things with it. So what you try to do is you hope that that you can move beyond the mechanics of creating, you know, songs or playing, and you actually get the bubble that's with you.
Heavens will light your way if you hold on.
It's easy. It's an easy thing, and when it comes down to writing, it's real easy. If it's difficult, then what you know to do is to don't even try to do it right then. Go, you know, because it's not supposed to be difficult. This is not a tedious kind of a thing. For a thing to be commercially viable, it needs to be packaged and then marketed. I don't know all that kind of stuff. But again, I'm just thinking about if it's some young brothers that like the music and they're inspired by what I'm doing, if it gets to them, that's important.
Heavens will light your way if you hold on. Always remember, heavens will light your way if you hold on.
Yes, that was very enjoyable. One thing I've been very curious about Baba Alade is he's actually from Watts, California, but he's had some experiences with one of the most famous Western African musician, Baba Olatunji, who's considered mainly responsible for bringing African music to the West. There's a very famous record, I recommend you getting it, called Drums of Passion. And Baba Alade actually lived in Nigeria and had some experiences with Baba Olatunji. And Baba, why don't you tell us a little bit about this experience?
Mm-hmm, certainly. Well, what had happened is that I arrived in New York. on the suggestion of, well, I was there in New York, but I came with credentials. I was living in South Carolina in Oyotunji Village, and Baba had come down there to drum for us, you know, and share what he does, as he's been an ambassador all over. It's no crevice or crack that he hasn't shared the beauty of our culture and songs. And he had come down there. Well, subsequently he left, and it was time for me to go to West Africa. You know, I was pushed. I knew it was time. The opportunities had come so many times. I'd been wanting to do this ever since I was 7, when my mother deterred that. But back to, yes, she did, Mommy.
How did she deter?
There was some exchange students through our church that we went through. That our church had a sister city in Nigeria, our sister state. That's the way they had it. And so what had happened is that we had exchange student Miss Ruth Akaba that lived with us. And along with Ruth was some more students from Pepperdine that we got to Dr. S.N. Eno. I'm sorry for calling them by their first names now, because they were definitely my elders, so much so. But all during very interesting times in Nigeria's history. But meanwhile, let me wrap that back around to, I wanted to go to King's College. They said that there's a King's College, this boy could go there. We can arrange that to make that happen. And I really wanted to go. And
At 7?
well, about 10. Let me say about
still,
10, 11.
very
you know,
bold, very
10,
bold.
10, you know, where, you know, school. I was trying to get some kind of other kind of schooling, and I wanted to go because it was really a healthy attitude around the house about that.
So you had to wait.
I had to wait. Mommy wouldn't let me go. And she said, well, I didn't want to go. And we talked about that until she finally left. I said, no, I wanted to go. She didn't want me to get out because I was more like what they would call a mama's baby.
Right.
That's what somebody told me, a mama's boy, what they were saying. Being younger than, had an elder brother who passed away in Vietnam, Ronald Eugene, bye-bye. May so rest in peace. Then I have an elder sister, Sharon Elaine, and then me. So that's how I was focused in on trying to get to Nigeria, and I was all primed and prepped to go. Now, subsequently me moving to New York this is about my second time going to try to battle with the city. Again, to earn money to travel to Nigeria on my own. I came with some recommendation that when I do come, to go and drum with the ensemble. I started studying there. And then when I was there, then Baba it was really remarkable how he just pulled me in very, very close to me and was almost like protective of me back in the States. I've used to live here before.
He actually taught you about music then?
Well, some concepts. He told me a lot of things about, because I was full of questions about lots of different things that I wasn't clear on. Certainly the language is always there. The customs and the culture are with us and have always been with us around, from the Afro-Cubans that are here, and Afro-Brazilians, and Afro-Panamanians, and Afro-Hispanics, you want to call them that, and Afro-Dominicans.
Right.
It's always here.
Exactly.
But Baba put another light on it in the door to actually travel home under a different type of auspices came, which I wasn't really even praying for. I just was praying to get set foot on there and break the chain link, or to relink the circle.
Exactly. Yes.
And when I traveled with Baba, it was in a whole different way. CBS was doing can I say that? Anyway, they were doing a documentary, a large conglomerate company in the United States was doing a documentary, and Baba was going as a liaison, you know, sort of type of a liaison, and so he said that he was going, he was going to go and take the whole troop there. And he had said that about 6 months into my being there. And he was telling everyone they should save their money for this opportunity to be coming up. And when he actually said, okay, well, who's ready to go? I was like, I had been working and saving.
You were ready to go.
I was ready to go. I was so anxious and eager that it was the week that we were going to travel, and I hadn't even gotten my passport. And he said, what? Anyway, and so we did go to Nigeria with him during that time, and it was at the, I traveled around probably more extensively than regular tourists would with the amount of money that I had.
Right.
And I got to see some very influential personages in Nigeria. So I had to give a shout out to Prince Chukwuma Ezekwe, whose father, Nnamdi Ezekwe, was Zeke. Was the first president of Nigeria.
Oh, that's great. Well, listen, we're running out of time here, so I want the listeners to have another chance to hear another tune. So we just have a couple minutes left, so would you be so kind as to play another song for our audience?
Sure. Well, I'm going to play a song. You know, we always come upon favorite people in our lives at times. And I got a favorite person. Condoleezza, pretty little thing that I never seen. Condoleezza, pretty, Condoleezza. I never knew no one like you, so precious in this world. Yes, you are, preacher's daughter, surely a mother's pride. I never knew no one like you, so precious in this world.
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, giving us support, and helping us make this show possible. And thank my special guest, Baba Alade. We're gonna play right on out.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing, land of the pilgrim pride, land where our fathers die. Ooh, from every mountainside, let the freedom bell ring. Let the freedom bell ring. Ooh, Condoleezza, you the sharpest knife in mama's kitchen drawer. Condoleezza, you travel wide, you travel far. Condoleezza.